These next few regions that I'll be talking about in the upcoming weeks will mostly be centered in Nigeria proper. And today I'd like to start off with what I like to call the Delta Bini region. Home to Niger artists such as Burna Boy, Omale, and some of the world's richest and controversial oil reserves. This region encompasses the eastern and central part of the South-South geopolitical zone. So basically the modern-day states of Edo and Delta, as well as the states of Bayelsa and Rivers. Long ago, the Bini Empire held sway in this region, mainly from today's Edo states. But there were others there as well, such as the Esan, Owan, and Afemai people, in addition to the Urobo, Anyoma, who many say are a stock of Igbo people, the Itakiri, Ikwere, sometimes also regarded as the Igbo subgroup, and the largest of them all, the Ijo. Those mentioned being centered in Rivers, Delta, and Bayelsa states. So yeah, you can kind of think of this region, especially those near the coast such as Delta, Bayelsa, and River states, as a region with a multitude of different types of peoples, who were heavily influenced by the Yoruba, Fon, Aja, and Efa people to the west, the Bini Edo people to the north, and the Igbo to the east. Government systems here were centralized and patrilineal, with the Edo actually being influenced by Yoruba concepts, mostly from Ile-Ife, and deifying their kings. Others, especially those near the Delta, were centralized as well, but didn't deify their kings, instead opting for smaller city-states engrossed in marine culture, piracy, and military war canoes. The region is also famous for its beads, and the intricate bronze, copper, and brass statues and Manila currencies that flowed throughout the region. Portuguese ships first arrived in this region and today's Nigerian general around 1485, encountering those who inhabited the city of Wari. Most of those inhabitants were in Sikiri, a tributary state to the Benin up north. Wari visits soon turned into visits further inland, where a much larger Benin was located, and trade relations between the two began to flourish. Trade which involved the exchange of palm oil, ivory, cloth, and sometimes slaves, for brass, copper, and other items requested from other parts of the world. However, by the 1600s, this trade began to decline, due to the refusal of the Oba of Bini to sell male slaves to the Portuguese and constant civil war. This led the Portuguese and other Europeans, such as the Dutch and British, to turn to their coastal neighbors, such as the Ija city-state of Nembe, Elem Kalabari, and the city-state of Ibani, otherwise known as Boni. These city-states did not, for the most part, raid each other to procure enslaved people, but were supplied many Igbo, Ibibio, and Efik folks coming from inland thanks to Arachuku connection and expansion, which meant that people from this region didn't really come to the Americas in large numbers, but may have formed a small part of those going to the Dutch and British Caribbean. Interestingly enough, however, they did have a huge impact on Berbice Dutch Creole, which is unfortunately now extinct, and Sranantongo, with one or two Ijol words being used in the Surinamese Creole language. Make sure to follow and like.